GRIAS Academy.
100 days, 100 themes, one goal, UPSC Prelims. Hello all, welcome back to the program Mission Surya Phase 3, where we deal with current affairs regarding science and technology and environment, specifically in completely Prelims perspective. Okay, so let's get started our today's session. In our today's session, we are going to deal with current affairs regarding climate change in the past 1.5 years. We are making sure that we are not going to miss any topic regarding climate change which is mentioned in PIB websites and the Hindu paper. Okay, so we have compiled all those and we have taken the topics of climate change specifically of the past 1.5 years. Okay, and we are going to I am going to cover these topics today and tomorrow itself. Tomorrow also will be the climate change current affairs only. Okay, so now let's get started with our today's session and let's see our first topic. Our first topic is long lasting greenhouse gases emission and agri-food systems. In Hindu paper on March 23rd, 2026, it is mentioned like Floriculture conference where all the scientists, farmers, producers and all come to a stage to discuss about this. They come and discuss about this floriculture and this greenhouse gases emissions for eradication and all. They all come up and have a conference. So in that conference, experts call for reducing greenhouse gas emissions, enhancing soil carbon which is mentioned in the Hindu paper on March 23rd, 2026, means the last month. Okay, now see, experts and agriculture leaders have called for significant long-term changes to the floriculture sector. For what? Floriculture sector. What do you mean by this floriculture? Floriculture is nothing but the flowers which is used not only for decoration and all, even flowers has a huge demand now. It is used in ornaments, what not, in vast market flowers are used. So to combat the climate change and enhance environmental sustainability. Okay, this is what in the floriculture conference the experts and agriculture leaders have called. Okay, next, where is this organized? By whom it is being organized? It is organized by the Kiladi Shivappa Nayaka University of Agriculture and Horticultural Sciences. In this university, okay, in which state it is located in? It is located in Karnataka. Okay, now let's see the emission reduction targets. What is they have said previously, right? In the heading itself we can see long lasting greenhouse gas emissions emissions reduction target, like experts including Suresh Kumar Malhotra, he is the vice chancellor of Maharana Pratap Horticulture University, and highlighted that agricultural greenhouse gas means the gases which are released from the agriculture. Emissions are estimated at roughly 15% and must be reduced to 5% by 2047. As of now, it is estimated to be 15%, and now this they are estimated at roughly 15% and must be reduced to 5% by 2047. This is stated by whom? By Suresh Kumar Malhotra, a vice chancellor of Maharana Pratap Horticulture University in the floriculture conference. Okay, next, moving on. Let's see the emission persistence of this. Basically, greenhouse gases, the carbon dioxide remains a formidable threat. Seriously, right? Release of carbon dioxide heavily are what you call global warming is happening more. Due to this carbon dioxide remain as a formidable threat because a sustainable portion persists in the environment for 300 to 1000 years. It doesn't get destroyed, but this carbon dioxide persists in the environment for 3000 to 1000 years. This decaying continued warming even if emissions were halted immediately. Even though the carbon dioxide emissions are stopped immediately in the country, it will lead to the warming effect, because it generally, the carbon dioxide which is emitted till now, it persists in the globally to 300 to 1000 years. Okay, this is the emission persistence of carbon dioxide. Next, coming to the agricultural footprint. See, this agri-food systems are massive contributors to global warming. These agri-food systems are massive contributors to our global warming. Okay, with generating approximately how much? 25 to 34%. That is 1/4 to 1/3 of total global greenhouse gases. It constitutes how much? 1/4 to 1/3 of total global greenhouse gases emissions. What is it? Basically the food we eat and the food which is getting processed for ourselves, that is the agri-food systems. This contributes massively for our global warming. Okay, next is climate tipping points and ecological discoloration. In the sense, see, they have given world on track to dangerous warming as emissions hit record high, which is given by UN in the Hindu paper on November 4th, 2025. This statement is stated like, I'll repeat the statement: world on track to dangerous warming as emissions hit record high. Okay, see the context of it. The world is on the track for dangerous high level warming because greenhouse gas emissions have reached record highs. Greenhouse gas emissions have reached a record high with how much? With 2024 seeing a 2.3% increase. 2024 seeing 2.3% of increase only, but in emissions and hitting 57.7 gigatons. Now, what is this tipping point? The tipping points is, these represents critical ecological thresholds. These represents the critical ecological thresholds generally estimated between 1.5 degrees centigrade to 2.2 degrees centigrade of warming. Okay, now this breaching these limits, exceeding these limits, can force Earth's system into entirely new irreversible states. Example like turning the Amazon into a dry savanna. Because see, we have seen so many incidents in the Amazon forest, like wildfires have happened, forest fires have happened. All this Amazon forest have been destroyed in a large context, right? In that way. Okay, triggering catastrophic domino effects. Next, these are the tipping points. Coming to the ecological discoloration. What is ecological discoloration? It is the global warming is physically altering. The natural world's color palette. Basically, we have this, right? The sky appears in very sky blue, beautiful color. When you go to Delhi and all the places where this highly pollution is there, you can't see those beautiful colors, like the skies being appearing that sky blue. Right? So, because of this global warming, physical altering the natural world colors palette. Over 50% of oceans have turned greenery. Obviously, 50% of oceans have turned greenery. Over 2 decades. How many? 2 decades. Coral reefs are severely bleaching. They are dying. Bleaching in the sense, coral reefs are dying. Okay, and forests are browning permanently, prematurely. The forests are browning prematurely. Basically, when we go to a forest, we see this, plants, trees being green in color, green atmosphere. It would be very nice to see, but due to this global warming and all, and the forests are also becoming brown. They are fading to the brown color, and this oceans are also being changed to the green color with this mosses, with this fungi, whatnot. Everything which is because of the pollution in the oceans. Okay, next, you can see this. Faunal pigmentation shifts. Now, faunal pigmentation means generally the discoloration of animal species. Not only this plants and waters getting discolored, even the animals are also changing their colors based on this temperatures, based on the sudden change in the environments and all. Because see, few polar bears are restricted to the polar region only. In the cold conditions only they can sustain. If those animals are taken, if those polar bears are taken to some other region and kept, can they sustain that temperatures and all outside? No, right? In the same way, if there are any fluctuations in this cold regions and all, these animals also, due to the reaction in the melanin pigment in their skin, they change their body color also. Okay, that is what the faunal pigmentation shifts means. See, animal species are modifying their pigmentation. They are modifying their pigmentation for thermal regulation based on Bogart's rule. What is Bogart's rule? Bogart's rule is the animals which lives in the cold conditions, because of the thermal changes, because of the environmental changes and climatic changes, they produce the darker shades. That's why it is called Bogart's rule. And Gloger's rule. Gloger's rule is dark animals in warm humid areas and rainfall, warm humid and rainfall areas. Okay, now pigmentation is highly sensitive to climatic shifts. To these animals, pigmentation is highly sensitive to climatic shifts. Furthermore, heavy metal pollution also, even heavy metal pollution also leads to the discoloration of the animal species, which causes urban birds to exhibit darker, duller plumage by binding with melanin. Okay, melanin pigment of the skin. Okay, next coming to the next topic, radiative forcing based accounting. Radiative forcing based accounting. It is water vapor in PIB in on January 8th 2026, in PIB it is mentioned this statement like water vapor heats the atmosphere much more than aerosols do. See, watch it carefully again. Water vapor heats the atmosphere much more than aerosols do. This is what it is mentioned in the PIB on January 8, 2026. Okay, a 2026 study conducted by the Indian and international researchers, including Aryabhatta Institute of Observational Sciences, Aryabhatta Institute of Research Institute of Observational Sciences has founded that water vapor heats the atmosphere significantly. Water vapor heats the atmosphere significantly more than the aerosols, because they are playing a dominant role in regional climate, particularly over the highly polluted Indo-Gangetic plains. Highly polluted Indo-Gangetic plains. Basically, these Indo-Gangetic plains are very polluted, right? Because of this, it is said that water vapors heat the atmosphere significantly more than the aerosols do. Okay, and this is given by whom? It is studied by the studies. It is said by the studies conducted by Indian and international researchers, including the Aryabhatta Research Institute of Observational Sciences. Okay, next, moving on, we'll see a new measurement paradigm, like a novel framework known as radiative forcing based accounting. Radiative forcing based accounting, which is dynamically evaluates the actual heat trapping effect. It evaluates the actual heat trapping effect of gases, unlike the traditional global warming potential. It evaluates the actual heat trapping effect, which is metric which uses a static 100-year multiplier. Okay, this global warming 100, the previous traditional method, undervalues short-lived climatic pollutants. They undervalue short-lived climatic pollutants like methane, leading to undercrediting of mitigation projects by up to 40%. Okay, now moving on to the next topic, that is Arctic amplification and planetary boundaries. Arctic amplification and planetary boundaries. In Hindu paper on November 5th, 2025, it is stated that food systems largest violators of planetary limits. Food systems are largest violators of planetary limits. It is given in 2025 EAT Lancet Commission. It is given in EAT Lancet Commission, the Hindu paper stated in November 5th, 2025. Let's see what is this Arctic amplification. Arctic amplification means warming of Arctic region up to 4 times faster than the global average. Basically, this Arctic region, we know it is a very cold region. This is getting warmer up to how many times more? 4 times faster. 4 times faster than the global average. Okay, next. Planetary boundaries. What are these planetary boundaries? Planetary boundaries are humanity has now transgressed 7 out of 9 critical planetary boundaries. How many? 7 out of 9 critical planetary boundaries necessary for maintaining a safe operating space for life on Earth. Okay. These are the planetary boundaries and Arctic amplification. Next. On to the next topic. The next topic is global climate agreements and macro frameworks. See, UNFCCC COP30, Belém, Brazil and climate finance. Like, see, this COP30 means COP30 is Conference of Parties. Sorry. COP30 is Conference of Parties. This is the 30th session, right? Conference of Parties 30th session, which is held in Belém, Brazil. Okay. To mainly this COP30 summit reliance is who have to finance the developing countries for the climate change protocols and all. Okay, now let's look into it. PIB on November 23rd, 2025, it stated that India welcomes key outcomes at UNFCCC COP30, reaffirms commitment to equity, climate justice and global solidarity. This is the statement which is mentioned in the PIB in November 23rd, 2025. Let's see what is it, why it is in the context. Because global forums continue to debate that geopolitical responsibilities of the developed nations, a theme constantly monitored, which is constantly monitored in the civil services examinations, right? See, global forums continue to debate the geopolitical responsibilities of the developed nations. Let's see the forest COP, mainly the Amazon forest. To conserve the Amazon forest, we have seen a wide range of wildfires in the Amazon forest, right? So, to re-get the Amazon forest, this is the in the COP30 summit they have discussed about the finance assistance, okay, which is hosted in the Amazon. This forest COP is hosted in Amazon. COP30 emphasized collective inclusion. It emphasized the collective inclusion, acting for the like-minded developing countries. India aggressively championed Article 9. Article 9 in the sense who have to give the financial assistance to the countries for climate change and all. Okay, mandating developed nations to supply climate finance. Article 9 says that mandating developed nations, mandates that developed nations should give the financial assistance to the climate finance assistance to the developing countries. The key outcomes include the Belém package. Generally, it's a Belém package and the Tropical Forest Forever facility with $25 billion of fund. Okay, it needs a $25 billion of fund which has to be given by the developed countries for this climate finance. Okay, next see, India reaffirms commitment to equitable climate action at Leaders Summit of UNFCCC COP30 in Belém, Brazil. This statement is mentioned in PIB in November. Sorry, I can't see. November 8th, 2025. Okay. See, India achieved its nationally determined contribution target 5 years earlier. 5 years earlier by 2020 only, right? By 2020 only it has achieved. But how? Emission intensity by reducing emission intensity by how much percentage? 36% between 2025 and 2020 and achieving 50% non-fossil power capacity. As we discussed earlier, we have used ethanol blending, right, to reduce the emissions. We have reached the target of reducing the global emissions target of 5 years earlier than the global target. Okay, this is what it is mentioned. So let us see the concept net zero and net negative nations. Net zero and net negative nations. A country is called a nation is called net zero emissions when a country is net zero when the total greenhouse emissions released, when the total greenhouse gases which are released is equals to emissions is equal to total emissions removed is equal to total emissions removed. This is how we can say a nation is a net zero nation. See, Cabinet approves India's nationally determined contribution 2021-35 commitments are aligned with vision of Viksit Bharat 2027. These are aligned with vision of Viksit Bharat 2027 and net zero by 2070. India has a target of going total greenhouse gases, the net of total greenhouse gases released is equals to the net emissions removed. This is how when a country is called a net zero nation. So India is being targeted to as net zero nation by 2070. This is mentioned in the PIB website on March 25th, 2026. What is the current achievers? Only a selected group of nations have already achieved the net zero or net negative status. What are those countries? They include, the first is Bhutan. Next is Comoros, Gabon, Guyana, Madagascar, New, Panama and Suriname. Okay, these are the countries. It is first Bhutan reached the goal of net zero or net negative status. Okay, now what are the driving factors for it? The driving factors are these countries maintain this status through extensive protected forest covers that acts as massive carbon sinks. These forests are used as the massive carbon sinks combined with low emission economic activity and small population. Obviously the population also matters of a country to become a net zero country, right? Next, Mumbai Climate Week 2026. Belagram emerges as Maharashtra's first net zero village. Belagram in Maharashtra emerges as the first net zero village through panchayat leadership. Leadership which is mentioned in the Hindu February 20 on 2026. Okay. In Indian context it is Belagram of Maharashtra. Have a look on it. Next, Next is Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. We have seen the Article 9 of Paris Agreement that who have to provide the financial assistance for the climate changes for the developing countries and all, right. So now Article 6 talks about the Union Power Minister inaugurates Prakrit 2026 and launches India Carbon Market Portal. He launches India Carbon Market Portal, which reinforces India's climate commitments, which reinforces the India climatic commitments, which is mentioned in the PIBB website on March 21st, 2026. Now, let us see what is carbon market operationalization means. Article 6 allows nations to achieve climatic goals via voluntary international carbon credit trading by voluntary international credit carbon trading. Okay. So, India estimated a 21 member national designated authority to authorize projects under the Article 6 mechanism, Okay. Now, India's green pathway from conservation to climate action, detailing the role of the carbon credit trading scheme and structural energy transitions. It is mentioned in PIB on April 7, 2026, this month itself only. See, India's green pathway is a proactive development focused strategy aligning economic growth with environmental sustainability through initiatives like the National Action Plan on Climate Change, and Net Zero by 2070 goals. Net Zero India is going to achieve by 2070 as a net zero nation, right? By how? By reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases. India wanted to achieve net zero nation by 2070. Okay. Next, key strategies include key strategies for India include 60% non-fossil electricity capacity by 2035. 60% of non-fossil electricity capacity by 2035, and by accelerating green hydrogen to 5 MMT, million metric tons annually by 2030. Next, expanding ecosystem restoration, by expanding the ecosystem restoration and promoting circular economy models, These are few strategies which are included to achieve net zero nation by 2070. Okay, this is what India is going to take up. Next, let's see the Montreal Protocol and short-lived climatic pollutants. Okay, see, healing the skies, World Ozone Day 2025, the theme is From Science to Global Action, which is mentioned in the PIB September 16, 2025. It is like Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change celebrated 31st World Ozone Day. It celebrated what? 31st Ozone Day to commemorate the signing of the Montreal Protocol, which is highlighting industry requirements during the ongoing HCFC phase out and the HFC phase down. Okay, this is mentioned in which one? PIB September 16, 2025. Okay, now let us see what is HFC phase. HFC phase out is the 37th meeting of the parties, that is meeting of parties 37, MOP 37, focused on the reduction of hydrofluorocarbons that are potent synthetic greenhouse gases that warm the planet nearly 3,710 times more than carbon dioxide. More than the carbon dioxide, how much? 3,790 times they increase the greenhouse gases that warm the global initially over a 20 years of lifespan. Okay, this is what the HFC phase out, hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, and HCFC phase out is hydrochlorofluorocarbons phase out stage also. Okay, next. Coming to the next topic. The next topic is India's climate commitments and domestic policy. It is evolution of nationally determined contributions. Evolution of nationally determined contributions, like see, tepid promises. What are these tepid promises? We'll see. Okay, on India and tepid promises on India and non-fossil capacity. On India and non-fossil capacity, which is given in the Hindu paper on March 27, 2026. See the target enhancements. What are the target enhancements of 2030 versus 2035 is, coming to the emission intensity, the 2030 target of 45%. By 2030, 45% of gases has to be reduced, but reduction has been upgraded to a 47%. Rather than 45%, it increased to 47% reduction by 2035. They have increased the year also, 5 years, from 2032 they have increased to 2035, which measured against the 2005 baseline, which has a 36% already achieved, which achieved 36% by 2005. Okay, next, non-fossil fuel capacity. Coming to the non-fossil fuel capacity, the 2030 goal of 50% installed capacity of non-fossil fuel capacity has progressed to 60% by 2035. Okay, because it already achieved how much? 52.57% is achieved already. So that's why it has increased the non-fossil fuel capacity to 10 more percentage, like from 50% by 2030 to 60% by 2035. Okay, next, the carbon sink. The earlier target has been expanded to a 3.5 to 4 billion tons carbon dioxide equivalent carbon sink by 2035. By 2035, how much? 3.5, it's been initially 3.5, now it is increased to a 4 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent carbon sink by 2035. Okay, this is about few target enhancements of 2030 versus 2035. Moving forward, see, this greenhouse gas emissions intensity rules and CCTs. Okay, see, in PIB it is a statement given like government notifies greenhouse gas emission intensity targets, greenhouse gas emission intensity targets for 208 more carbon intensive industries, 208 more carbon intensive industries, which is mentioned in PIB January 22nd, on January 22nd, 2026. Now, let's say this carbon credit trading scheme. Carbon credit trading scheme, which is given in the PIB in February 5th, 2026, stating that, let's see the binding targets of it. The binding targets are, the Environmental Ministry, the Ministry of Environment established legally binding GEI targets. GEI targets for over how many? 400 highly polluting units. 400 highly polluting units with examples of like aluminium, cement and all. Okay. These entities missing targets must purchase, these entities missing targets have to be purchased the what? They have to purchase carbon credit certificates. They have to purchase the carbon credit certificates under the carbon credit trading scheme. Under this scheme, these binding industries have to purchase carbon credit certificates. Okay, this is what the binding target of the industries like Environment of Ministry has given up. Okay, next is the National Clean Air Programme targets. National Clean Air Programme targets, where Union Environment Minister reviews air pollution action plans of Rohtak, Manesar, Panipat and Karnal, which is mentioned in PIB on January 20, 2026. Okay, and one more statement. Meeting clean air targets may bring down diseases rates across India, says new analysis. The Hindu has stated on September 30, 2025. Now, what is urban air pollution? The urban air pollution is to combat toxic air. To combat the toxic air, the NCAP specifically targets a 40% reduction in PM10 levels by 2025 to financial year 2025 to 26 across 131 identified non-attained and million plus cities. This is generally category A cities. Okay, using 2019-20 as the baseline. Using 2019 and 20 as the baseline, the NCAP targets 40% of reduction in PM10 levels by which year? 2025-26. Okay, specifically in the category A cities. Now, climate resilient agriculture. Climate resilient agriculture, where a few statements like national innovations in climate resilient agriculture maps climate risk in 651 districts, 310 found vulnerable, out of which 310 found vulnerable, which is mentioned in PIB March 24, 2026. The next statement is strategies to protect farmers from climate change, which is mentioned in PIB on March 27, 2026. Generally, see the spearhead by ICAR, NICRA, which are the agriculture institutes, mitigates climate risks in farming, heavily supported by the newly launched Digital Climate Atlas, Okay. Next. Okay. These are few topics which are we brought up from the PIB and the Hindu paper, and we have given you few, like, what do you say, the content of the climate change current affairs regarding only few topics I have taught today. Tomorrow I will come up with few more topics. So to get the details note of this content, do visit our website and download it from there, and the links are provided in the description below. And do like and subscribe our YouTube channel, and do like and do follow our Telegram channel and our Instagram channel as well for your UPSC preparations. See you all tomorrow with another climatic change current affairs. Thank you.